Are you a freelancer that is looking at growing your business and bringing on more work? We are only one person, so we can't do everything. So it's important to make sure that we are outsourcing the tasks that we can no longer take on or don't want to take on. And having independent contractors work for you can be a little tricky. There's a lot of trial and error. Sometimes you get lucky with someone great, and sometimes you don't. So I have a few tips I want to go over. We've had a freelance company for 10 years, and we've always had independent contractors and interns that have worked with us. And a few tips that we've taken away that I want to share with you today. First thing, let's start with the don'ts. Do not micromanage them. We all know that's probably one of the main reasons we left corporate on our own and started our own thing, is to get away from that micromanaging. So they're an independent contractor. Don't micromanage them, which goes right into that second one. They are not an employee of yours. You cannot tell them what time to do things, when to do it. That's that employee boss relationship, and that's not what independent contractors are looking for. They want to have a voice, they want to have that freedom, and that's why they have their own freelance company as well, is to be able to have that freedom and flexibility. So make sure that you're treating them as an equal and not as an employee. The third tip on the don'ts is don't assume things. This was something that was hard for me in the beginning, because even though I left corporate, I like working that 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or whatever that may be. And if something wasn't done by a certain time, I would have just assumed that they didn't do it, or they weren't doing it correctly. And this got me into, a few situations where I looked bad, because I'm like, why isn't this done? And it wasn't, I assumed. And so I should have been asking those questions. What time, are you going to be able to do this? Or what does your day look like? Let me know how this project is going to fit into your schedule, so I know. Which goes into our do's. Anytime you hire an independent contractor, whether it is for a project base or as 5-10 hours a week of work for you, make sure that you have those clear expectations on both sides. So for me, I like to communicate with my team on a weekly basis. Some of the people that we work with, I'm talking to on a daily or every other day basis. Figure out those expectations. Is it best to call them, text them, email them? What's their response time? When are they working? Are they a stay-at-home mom and they have the kids during the day and they're getting all their work done during the night or early morning or nap time? Are they in school? So if they're an intern, what's their school schedule like? When are they going to be doing the work? So making sure you have those clear expectations, and also asking them, providing the project to them and asking them, here's how I have done it in the past, but I'm open to suggestions. And again, this is kind of letting that ego go and moving into that space of that trust and creativity, and really building a good team. Because if that independent contractor feels like they're a part of a team, they are going to work harder for you. They're going to help you out with ideas. And if you have a problem with a client or a project, they may have a really good solution. So keeping in mind, they are a part of your team. They are not your employee. And being able to keep that communication open, how do they think of things? What ideas do they have? How would they do this differently? And tell them, this, and again, this was something that I've struggled with for a long time, because I like things my way. And in a business that I want to grow, we have 5 girls that work for us right now, and they're amazing. We love every single one of them, and every single one of them has come to us and said, hey, I'm doing Instagram this way, or I'm writing these posts this way. Is that okay? And we have said yes. And other times we said, no, we need to have it done this way because X, Y, Z. So being clear with them and being transparent. They don't need to know the ins and outs of your business, but I think they need to know enough where they understand your point of view, or they understand why the project needs to be a certain way. And the last thing is pay on time. You like when your clients pay on time, and so it's important that you pay your contractors on time. Create those systems. We have Google Doc timesheet set up, and a lot of our communication is done through Google Sheets and Drive, and we have their task sheet. So each client, they know what they need to do, what's expected of them, and a time frame of how long it should take based on how it worked for us. And then also that time. So we set an hourly rate, whether we have, okay, we don't want you going over 20 hours a week or whatever that may be, however long you think that you need that help, make sure that they know that so they're clear. And if a project is running over, they can let you know, hey, I need about 3 more hours on this project. Is that okay? So keeping that communication open and trusting them is huge. So having people work for you that are virtual, that aren't in the office space with you is a lot different. You have to have that trust and that relationship so you know that they're doing their job and you're doing your job and your clients are satisfied and happy and you guys are building a team. And I think that's the key thing. So make sure, you're sitting down with your contractors, have an interview process because personalities aren't always going to mix 100%. And that's huge as well because you want to make sure you have those right, I like to say like-hearted, like-minded people on your team. So think back to your core values that we've talked about and make sure that your team has those same values. If you guys have questions about growing your freelance business, implementing these systems and processes, please check out our website at Social Speak Network under the tab Elevate. Thanks.